How will the Saints respond to heartbreak yet again? It's the coach. It's the first of two this Monday night on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see the New Orleans Saints trying to put the sting of last year's NFC Championship game no call behind them as they play host to a preseason favorite in the AFC South, the Houston Texans. I'll look back to opening weekend at halftime, but now it's off to Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Standing by, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
First opened back in 1975. There's a look inside the iconic Mercedes-Benz Superdome in downtown New Orleans. The setting in this dome just serves to amplify the excitement of the folks in New Orleans as their Saints burst from the tunnel a moment ago. They're set, and we're set as well as the Saints get ready to do battle with the Houston Texans. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, the new season finally here. We had the great one Thursday night. All sorts of intrigue in the games yesterday, and now we put a bow on this first weekend with a good one here tonight.
We do put a spotlight on key games, don't we? Even key nights. Thursday night has become a spotlight night. How about Sunday night? But there still is some magic to playing on Monday night, and these two teams are feeling it.
Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. This fielded at the 2. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Texans offense heading out, and it's Deshaun Watson leading the way, the third-year man out of Clemson. Last year, 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, but the big number for the Texans, he was sacked a league-high 62 times. They'll try to do better in this one. Now a first-time Pro Bowler from a year ago, Lamar Miller. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Now that was an excellent run, and when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job, and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block, but the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes, so when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
Watson going to give this one to Miller. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
Now it looks like we'll get a timeout as there's a Saints player down here on the field. Boy, not what you want to see in quarter one of the new year. We'll be back. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll try the air now with Watson setting up the screen for Miller. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still ended up with a solid game.
And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt, I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Now a third down throw, but it misses the target. Incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Fourth down, so the Texans dial up the number of their second-year punter, Trevor Daniel. Back deep for the Saints is Ted Ginn. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Saints now for their first drive. They'll be led out by the first pick of the second round back in 2001, and that's the veteran Drew Brees.
Drew Brees' accomplishments have been borderline astounding. When you look back at what people thought about him coming out of college, so-called height issue, you name it, he can do it. And boy, does he prepare well for each and every game.
So Brees going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. This is Alvin Kamara, who made the Pro Bowl in each of his first 2 NFL seasons. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. 20, 10, touchdown, New Orleans. Alvin Kamara, an 80-yard touchdown, and the Saints have taken the early lead. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Will Lutz on for the point after. And it's good as the Saints have a 7-0 lead. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll return this one all the way onto the other side of the field.
Well, you gave up the first touchdown of the game, but how about the response? Big-time return. Now it's their chance to try and put points on the board.
And now out comes Houston. They were forced to punt on their initial drive of the new season. Now they're ready to go as they begin again with a 1st and 10. A first down carry now for Miller. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43. And now a look at the Saints starting defense.
Linebacker Demario Davis made the move from the New York Jets to the New Orleans Saints before the 2018 season, and that move really paid off for him. Always a terrific player. Now he was able to get to the playoffs for the first time in his NFL career.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Watson with a give to Miller, and he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later. Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
No one attempted or made more field goals than Fairbairn last year. He was 37 of 42.
And they were grateful for every one of those that put 3 points on the board. But I'll guarantee you, Bill O'Brien, the head coach, is thinking to himself, we need to use him a lot less in 2019. Let's make sure we score some more touchdowns.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. Breeze on the draw, gives to Kamara. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Let's get a quick look at the Saints offense.
The steal in the 2017 NFL Draft had to be running back Alvin Kamara out of Tennessee, who ended up being that year's NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Split time with Mark Ingram his first 2 years in the league. With Mark Ingram now in Baltimore, it's his show. And through his first 2 years, almost equal yardage, rushing and receiving. Expect his rushing numbers to take a big leap in 2019.
They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time. And a look now at the defense for Houston.
Many times as we open a game, we talk about guys who are drafted in the first round, but how about the undrafted players? In this case, safety Tashawn Gibson, who's made the most of his time in the NFL, becoming a starter in the league. And since 2012, has 20 interceptions, the most for undrafted players in that time frame.
Now Breeze on third down. And to the right side here, it's Allen. And he brings this up to the 46, good enough for the first. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Off the play fake to Kamara, it's Breeze. He sets to fire deep. And it's knocked away and incomplete. The Pro Bowler Michael Thomas was the intended receiver, but it'll be second down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Following the penalty, it's Kamara. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Jonathan Joseph there for the tackle. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. I also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off. Barney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go, and let's see who's faster.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
From the gun on 3rd down, Breeze. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Nice play there to force the incompletion, and to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
On 4th down, off goes Drew Brees, and on comes the Saints kicker, Will Lutz, for the field goal attempt. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And Lutz's kick is good. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle, right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like that one?
What does that mean, break out? That just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they've got to make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
They'll try to run for it with Miller. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now, 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a first down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now the 3rd year back out of Texas, Deontay Foreman. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. You often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first.
Offensively, they liked their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it in run time, and he picks up a first down.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Oh, a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, helped force the incompletion.
Well, had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
From the 25 on 2nd down, Breeze.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch. Well, partner, I guess that answers the question about whether they're going to sit on it or not.
It does. Now we'll see if they try that again.
Yeah, I think what we find on plays like that, when you take that shot, if you're unsuccessful, then you go way more conservative.
And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Here's Thomas Morstead now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. Here's Jones on the return. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And we focus on Lamar Miller as he heads back out there and gets set to go again on offense. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the 2nd quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the 1st.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. 11 yards there, just like last play. They held him in check in the first half, but that's his longest carry of the game right there.
So would this be the definition of fresh legs since he didn't get much done in the first half? Now he has a great opportunity. He's taking full advantage of it.
Now it's Miller, and he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Here's Watson. He sets up the screen to Jones. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're either throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one.
Looking for Thomas, but that's intercepted. Picked off by Kayvon Webster. It's a foot race. He's at the 40, past the 20, 10, and he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So from one end zone all the way to the other. Talk about a turnaround.
And how about the excitement that play generates for his team? Not just the points on the board, but the momentum and taking it from coast to coast, end zone to end zone. What a tremendous play. Now get that man an oxygen tent.
That's your boy Old Mo, you said. Momentum, right?
Old Mo, I think he's kind of limping across at the end because of that distance, but he made it.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. It's up and good, and that makes it 17-3. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21-yard line. This not the final game of this opening weekend. Still one more, and that comes your way later tonight out in Oakland. The Denver Broncos and Vic Fangio's coaching debut taking on the Oakland Raiders. The final. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Eli Apple. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. The Clemson product, DJ Reader, got in for the sack.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things that's gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. DJ Reader able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening.
So, Brandon, we've sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Instead, they go empty backfield as they'll look to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. DJ Reader bringing the pressure yet again. That's his 3rd sack here tonight.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Thomas Morstead now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. So a short drop, but he's able to get it out, and this is a good kick. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. You can count his carries on one finger. They've only given him the rock one time, Charles. What gives?
So we can't draw any conclusions just yet. He has to touch the ball multiple times in order to get into a rhythm and have a chance to have success. You know who else gets into a rhythm? The offensive line. They feel better about what they're doing when they know they've had multiple opportunities to get it done.
Yeah, well, the conclusion we draw so far, they're losing here in the second quarter. Let's see if they change tunes. They'll run with Miller. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. This is Miller. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
His carries tonight, they're getting up there, so maybe one of those every now and then is understandable.
I would agree with that. Understandable every now and then. Sometimes you come back and you fake it to him and go play action. But other times you say, okay, they got him on that one. We'll come back to him in another carry.
Steps away to his left. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. How about a 39-yard pickup? They'll take it.
Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well. They'll get a few stops.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll go with Foreman, and he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. It's a 1-yard touchdown run, and the Texans have cut it to within a score.
A 1-yard run on first down, another yard that gets them into the end zone on second down. Maybe not much for the yards per carry average, but hey, 6 points.
Yeah, bottom line is it doesn't matter there. You've got to find a way to wedge it into the end zone. Yards per carry, that's out the window. How do you score? And on the second down, they had something going. They got a yard before. They thought they could do it again, and they got it done.
Fairbairn good with the extra point. And that slices the lead down to 17-10. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it was finished off by Deontay Foreman on the touchdown run. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here now, a look at Drew Brees in our players' spotlight. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming at him a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to tamp down that pressure. How do they decrease it? Is it getting rid of the football quicker? You know, shorter drops? Maybe they do something different with their pass blocking and their protection schemes. Maybe you meet them on the line of scrimmage instead of retreating to try and protect your quarterback. They've got to figure something out, though, because you cannot let your guy get hit that much, not if you intend to win.
Yeah, I know they'd like to erase that video and those 4 sacks that they've seen so far. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5.
Something to watch here in week 1 of the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week. I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. They fake the give. Here's Breeze. Throw left side complete. That's Murray.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
To throw again on 2nd down. Breeze. And Josh Hill has it. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23.
Someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. Staying on the ground on 1st with Kamara. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
J.J. Watt makes another tackle there, and it's for a minimal gain. And let's face it, if that's all you're going to get running the ball, you're not going to have much success against him and his team.
Or, yeah, you better find a way to go around J.J. Watt, which isn't easy to do.
It's really not, because you got to try everything. Can you go around him? Can you go by him? Can you influence him to get him out of position so maybe you can wall him off? He's a really sharp, intelligent player, as well as a physical specimen.
Breeze going to try and throw on 3rd down. And, it'll be intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at the 20. They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. Now Miller, he's had a big workload here tonight. A.J. Klein on the tackle there. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll hand things off to the coach, Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have a look back at a very intriguing opening weekend in the NFL. And he's got Miller. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
It's a nice job hitting him on the angle route there. Come out of the backfield, cutting sharply across the middle. And that's good timing between the quarterback and his receiver.
Effective 3rd down play to move the chains. Oh, and he'll just get rid of this one deep. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. Here's the correct call.
And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10.
Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit, because earlier in the game, I think he's trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
Now it's Watson. This will be caught just inside the 10. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Here's Watson. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. The Texans on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, here's Watson. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
Oh, that is a complete shank. It's no good. Off to the right, and this score will stay right where it is. So we've seen these be tricky from time to time. You know, you've almost got to cut the ball to make it go through. And this time he cut it a little too much, and he sliced it.
Yeah, and he'll tell you, no excuses on this one. It's a kick every NFL kicker should be able to make in his sleep. But your word was definitely correct. He sliced that one, and he'll miss it wide to the right.
A little over 20 seconds remaining in the half as they'll line up here 1st and 10.
And they're just going to run it here up the middle.
And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
So we're at halftime in the first of 2 here on this opening Monday night of 2019. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin up at Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. And it was the Rams who took their first step towards a Super Bowl return by claiming the victory. 27-10, the final score. From there, we head all the way out west to see what's happening with the LA Chargers. And they were victorious in that one over the visiting Indianapolis Colts. Mike Williams leading the way with 3 touchdown catches. Lastly, let's get to the Windy City, see what's happening with the Bears at home at Soldier Field. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Green Bay Packers. Mitchell Trubisky with 3 touchdown passes in the Week 1 victory. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half. For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. We'll see if week one fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the third quarter. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
And that play goes nowhere. He's met behind the line, and a penalty flag may add insult to injury. That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block, it'd be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
On the ground, this is Kamara. And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But it looks like they're ready to go.
On third and long, it's Breeze. And that will be incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just one target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him to find him. Find him.
On the return is Jones. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
We'll see what they have up their sleeve. Lamar Miller.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Out of the gun, Watson. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. Well, he was just trying to contain DeAndre Hopkins, and he got a little too close.
And because of his ability to line up in different spots on the field and come at you from different angles, different guys have to cover him. and all of them have the same issue. How do you do it without interfering? In this case, it didn't get done.
Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Marcus Davenport, the first rounder out of UTSA with a sack. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DM.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well. And that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen.
He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
Third and long. It's Watson. Into the hands of the tight end. This is Jordan Thomas. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a fourth down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
So on fourth down, Texan kicker Kaimi Fairbairn comes on. From the left hash, this from 39. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And that will cut this lead back down to 4 now. It's 17-13. So a decent drive there to start the third quarter. They only salvaged 3 out of it, but they inch a bit closer.
Yeah, but still lots of time to go in this one. That's why you hear that clapping on the sidelines, right? Hey, got some points. As you said, inching their way back in. Time left to go out and get that victory.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Alvin Kamara and the Saints set to start their next drive. So after that hot start, the numbers here show the decline. What has the defense done adjustment-wise?
Sometimes when you have a running back who's gotten off to a hot start, you've got to catch him before he really gets going. So you change what you do across the defensive front. Instead of the linebackers being back a few yards, you bring them up closer. It's what we call mugging the line of scrimmage, taking away a lot of blocking angles and gaps and maybe stopping him before he can get going.
Mugging the line of scrimmage, okay.
Yeah, in this case, one thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Jadeveon Clowney there on the stop.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
To throw, it's Breeze. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's fourth down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man.
That was an excellent read right there. Saw cover 1. That means it's just a single high safety. So you know if you throw the ball to the outside part of the field, help is going to be a little bit late getting there. And he puts one out there for a big-time completion.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. On first down, it's Miller. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. Make it now 3 tackles for a loss in this game, 1 for each quarter.
And for a guy who played defense in college, I can just tell you that he's feeling very satisfied right now by what he's doing. But he's elated because he knows what he's doing is helping his team win the game right now. Making some big-time plays, getting into the offense's backfield and spilling everything.
He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Marcus Williams. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line.
The good old cover 3 defense, partner. When you start playing football as a safety, that's the first thing you're taught. Middle of the field, be as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, and break on the football when it's thrown and pick it off, just as we saw there.
And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop him. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. Losing 4 yards that time. And now it's 4th down. We've become so accustomed to it, you sort of take it for granted.
You really do, but he is so good that every team in his division, every year, is trying to make sure they draft people charged with trying to block J.J. Watt. So far, hasn't been too successful. Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
2 sides to every coin. This is the bad side of missing the 58-yarder. Now they start at the 48. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And he'll be brought down right at midfield after a gain of only a couple.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan 1st down.
Good route, good pickup for 1st down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
Faking the give. Now Watson.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else. There are so many things to watch for when you play defense, and reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. That'll go as a loss of 5. A shotgun snap for Watson. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
On 2nd and 15 now. Watson. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
A carry for Foreman. And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
He's got 9 points on field goals now. He's made
3 of them. That gets them a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these threes into sixes.
And for him, it's not his concern, right? He just goes out there when they call on him and goes ahead and puts points up on the board. But the offense has got to get together and figure out what's stalling their drives, so they have to keep calling on him.
Drew Brees getting ready to go again on offense. The lead is theirs here in the third quarter, but it's really been the ground game that's been the recipe for success.
You mean the spotlight isn't shining as brightly on the guy throwing it?
No, it's the man behind him that's had a heck of a game.
And that's really okay. That's actually what you're looking for. I mean, your pride tells you, hey, I want to be responsible. I want to throw a bunch of touchdown passes. But when you're able to run the football, typically speaking, your team's doing pretty well. And in this case, they're winning.
We'll see if they have balance on this drive.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Now Brees finding Kamara. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop.
Face mask. Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march up another 15 against your squad.
Now it's Kamara in the passing game. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout as there's a Saints player down here on the field. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. They'll run it here. This is Buck Allen. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
The Saints on 3rd down, not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. Now Brees. Over the middle, that's caught by Meredith. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a result. That and good tackling can lead to no yards gained.
We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. In 2018, Deshaun Watson had 5 fourth-quarter comebacks. Only Drew Brees of the Saints had more with 6. Play action for Miller. Now Watson. Forced out to his left. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against him.
From the gun, Watson. Over the middle, it's Fells. Without the previous penalty, that would have been a first down. Instead, it's just a gain of 10. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards. They were in zone defensively, went with a crossing route. It's always interesting to watch that chess match.
Yeah, and I think safeties don't mind crossing routes against zone because eventually you're going to run into their territory, and that's when they lick their chops in order to get the big hit or a play on the ball.
Offensively, nice execution to find a hole, make the catch. Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
To throw is Watson. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
Looked at me like they adopted what my kindergarten teacher always said. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And finally, able to hold him in check. He'd been carving him up running the ball.
That's the first time I think I've seen where the coverage was good downfield, and they accounted for him and stopped him for a short pickup.
Yeah, I don't think it was a big adjustment, but much more emphasis on making sure they knew where he was when he decided to take off and go.
Watson finding fouls complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 68 yards receiving now for him in the game. And a first down on that last catch as well.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
They'll run with Foreman. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Demario Davis there on the stop.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its...
And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. Already his second touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Texans have taken the lead. He's given him a little jolt, just gave him the lead there, but 2 TDs now in the game.
And that jolt puts them in the lead. What a terrific job by him. He is carrying the ball and simply saying, I want to win.
So now he's hoping his defense has that mentality as they try to hang on to that lead. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This will be taken short. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And here's a throw that's taken in by the tight end Cook. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward.
Automatic first down.
Now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. So he got free of one tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
They give them the yardage on the pass and half the distance to the goal line.
Because they're inside the 30, so now you don't march off the full 15, right? You have half the distance to the goal. In any event, that's precious real estate given up.
So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Breeze now to throw. His pass caught at the 4. And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3. 3 yards is the gain that time, 2nd and goal.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not.
And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
You got to think this is likely 4-down territory anyway, but they'll try to punch it in now on 3rd and goal. Here's Allen, and they get to him quickly here as he's stopped right around the 13. Only able to pick up a yard, and that's going to leave him with a long 4th and goal.
I know this is your spot, partner, so forgive me for jumping in, but there's no decision right here. They have to go for it in this situation. They're down on the scoreboard. How many other opportunities are you going to get?
Yeah, I'm with you. 4th quarter, like you said, down on the scoreboard. And remember here, a field goal virtually does them no good. So with that field goal, this one's now back within a field goal. Maybe not the ultimate result they wanted, but gets them that much closer.
This game is unfolding like a really good book, isn't it? Because I feel like there's a few more plot twists yet to be revealed before this one is over.
The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there. I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Buying time to his left. Dancing to his left. Space to maneuver at the 40. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down.
How many times have we seen this late in the 4th quarter? Because you know the pass rush is getting after him, and they get upfield, get that great push, and what do they create? Space, and he takes off.
Some pretty good games all weekend. We may have saved the best for last. This Monday night game has been a dandy. They'll run on 1st down. Miller. Oh, now Miller slow in getting up. He's still down on the ground. Oh, hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. They'll try the air now with Watson. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. A 1st down there on a pickup of 25. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they showed to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
And I think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock. Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word. Put it in bold. Here we go. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down. So hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This will be spotted at the 37, so it's a 47-yard attempt. And that is no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Maybe an important fourth-quarter miss as this stays a three-point game.
Yeah, now overtime is very much in the equation here. Just what you mentioned, a three-point game. They get a drive, put it through the posts. We could have some free football, couldn't we?
Now Breeze. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. Stop shy of the 45. Showed off a nice little move on the play, though. So that one will be accepted. So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Breeze. Gets it to Meredith, complete. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down.
Defense.
Face mask penalty, and Charles, you were a defender. You know sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's hard to keep your hands away from that face mask.
Sometimes you just get out of position as a defender when you're trying to make a tackle, so you end up flailing away, and your hand gets into the wrong spot.
He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Breeze.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, 4th quarter. Maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. That's caught by Meredith right side. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Well, you talk about clutch. That one was right down Broadway, and this game's all even here in the 4th.
Yeah, he didn't leave any doubt, did he? Good snap, good hold, dead center. Almost like a big-time golfer in a major, firing at a pin from the fairway, trying to win the tournament going down the stretch.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And last time out, another missed field goal, so maybe their confidence wavering a little bit right now in the kicking game.
And I'm with you on that. I think at this stage, they'd love to not run him back out there in a tough situation. But let's face it, they may have to. So right now, the head coach is talking to the offense coordinator and saying,
and he's taken down here by the Saints. Marcus Davenport, his 2nd sack of the night.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
To try again after the sack, Watson. Fuller brings it in over the middle. And he's going to be ripped down by the face mask at the end of this, and that's going to add 15 more onto the end of this thing. Tack on 15 more for the face mask, and that becomes a huge play.
Big pass gets caught on you. You're doing everything possible to get him on the ground, and sometimes you end up grabbing the face mask.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Here's Watson. On the crossing route, complete. It's Thomas. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st down in field goal range already. On 1st down, it's Miller. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. Play 3 of the drive not as successful. They go backwards after those 2 1st down gains.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker, and we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss.
And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
Watson now to throw. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Marcus Williams. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Boy, Charles, what a critical call in a tie game late.
You want to have the tight coverage. You don't want to cause the penalty. Pass interference in this case. Remember, it's a yardage foul in the NFL, a spot foul where it occurs.
The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Watson hands this to Foreman. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. On 3rd down, Miller. Well, he is marked down right about on top of that imaginary yellow line, but they say he's a bit short. So a big one coming here for Kaimi Fairbairn. This for the lead in the final stages. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And with a little over a minute to play, they have taken the lead. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they manage the clock exactly right.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So Breeze and the Saints down by a field goal, a little over a minute to go. This is only week 1 of the season, folks. Get strapped in as they come up here 1st and 10. And to the right side here, it's Allen. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. He'll look to throw. Allen has it, left side. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. To throw is Breeze. And this is a catch by Ted Ginn. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. He's back to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And here come the whistles and a timeout with 7 seconds left. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to potentially send us to overtime. And his kick is good. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter.
Oh, my goodness. I thought he'd peel off. Instead, he makes the fair catch at the 2-yard line. From the end zone, Watson. Looking long for Thomas. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Holding offense.
So they say no to the penalty. The incompletion stands. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And what they want to do is go ahead and take those downs away from them.
Here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
This fielded at the 2. He's going to be stopped here with a penalty marker on the field.
Personal foul.
I'm not sure what this is about.
Defense.
In overtime, you have to be smarter than that.
A personal foul just can't happen. Have to have poise.
The face mask moves him all the way out past the 40 now for first down. Now Foreman. Tackle there by Alex Anzalone. Short gain there to start overtime.
Almost a tester play, wasn't it? Wanted to see if the guys on defense were going to fit the gaps the correct way, because we're in overtime. So it's not just physical tiredness out there, right? Mentally, are you still doing what you're supposed to do? And they were up to the task on that play.
And certainly fatigue on both sides of the football. 7 yards there and a first down. So he hooked up with a veteran there, and in overtime, that's not a bad idea. Go with the age and the experience.
Yeah, because sometimes the young guys, they give you the fresh legs and give you all that bounce. But in this type of a situation, sometimes those legs slow down a little bit as the enormity of the moment overwhelms them. The veteran guys, they tend to come through.
A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down. Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another first down. Here's Foreman. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26. They've had some success here in overtime on this opening drive running the football. Right back to that well.
And why not? When you have that kind of success, make them stop you. And until they do, keep going back to that well you just spoke about. I think there's more water there available to him.
Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Call it a pickup of 7, and they're going to have a third down. So a big play in this opening drive of overtime. Now looking at a 3rd and 3. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout as there's a Saints player down here on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. Now a handoff here to his running back. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
And you definitely could make the case we might not even be in overtime had he not thrown 3 interceptions in regulation. But looking better here so far in OT.
Yeah, and when you think about what a coach is thinking at that point, because normally you've thrown 3 picks during the game, you might craft your play calling to be a little more careful. Not in this case. The green light still on for him.
Second down and goal. Watson to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That's one of the dangers of the quick game. If you only have a 2- or 3-step drop, if you don't get the ball to someone open right away, those defenders are right near the line of scrimmage and then get on top of you in a heartbeat.
And this will be caught. It's a touchdown. And absolute stunned silence here as they have come in and stolen this one in overtime. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, tried to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters what you wanted, but how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.
So for the Texans, it was a game that could have gone either way, but they get the touchdown in overtime to secure the Week 1 victory. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to L.A. to take on the Rams. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.